You're listening to 182.3, Care What People Think.
Welcome back to another episode of the Care What People Think podcast. Let's go. Will's in his scuff setup. I got a new picture for those people listening.
God, you did.
Look at us growing up,
one.
dude. Nah, honestly, the walls were so dry and dead that I had to put something else in the background. But that's besides the point. My name is Ryan. I'm here with my co-host Will. He's here every single week with me, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but we've been posting shorts on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We were just talking about this before we actually started recording, but yeah, we have our faces out. I'm sorry that you have to see that. It blinds me too. It scares me. I don't know if anybody feels that way. I hate seeing my face. Do you
Really?
hate seeing it? Yeah, like I hate watching myself. I'm just like, why are you like that? You know? Let's talk about that for a second.
So this is a drastic difference and relates to the internet. When I'm logged out of the podcast account and I'm just on YouTube at work, just watching YouTube, and I see our clip pop up, I literally think I'm fucking famous. And I'm like, someone made an edit of me. Someone made an edit of me. I'm on which
Well,
is
it's probably because you're the one. It's probably because you're not the one editing it. I edit it and then I see it and I'm just like, damn. I don't like my face. Nah, it's not like that. I don't hate it. It's just like, Anyway, so besides the point, I just wanted to bring up the fact that we've been posting these videos. That we've been seeing some support and everything. Spread the word though, and we love hearing from you guys and listening every single week. But make sure to tune into the video aspect as well. But yeah, I'm just going to give you guys a little heads up. This podcast, for those people that don't know, it's just for us to talk about ourselves not too seriously. We can just shoot the shit. And we talk about stuff that I think is on everyone's minds at some point. Today's episode is huge though. The internet's biggest problem. I think it's a very spicy one because a lot of us use it for almost everything. And the flip side of things, the word brain rot is a thing because of the internet. So it gives us our information, but it might be frying our brains. We'll get into that though. Before anything, we talk about one thing we're proud of, and that's me this week. I'm going to be talking about I deleted TikTok for 3 days. This is huge.
Nice.
This is huge.
Nice. And that's why he didn't post our clips. Nice. That's what
You were wondering. No, over the weekend, this past weekend, I literally just said, nah, I do not want to be on social media. I deleted TikTok. I have 2 accounts, one for the podcast, one personal. And I said, no, I am going to have a great time with my girlfriend. And I actually went to a beach this past weekend and I said, no TikTok. Nice. So basically I went to my settings, my screen time and app limits. I technically didn't fucking delete the app.
Damn.
But I basically just put a blocker. And what I want to say though is I felt a lot more like connected and just some time to like relax. And I wasn't constantly like, what did I don't know, the soccer game, what happened, bro? I need to see clips. Shit like that. So I just want to like put that out there. It made me feel really good and I'm proud of myself. So
that's awesome. It's funny enough, I would have actually really needed to see clips because holy shit, the Champions League. I watched both games at work. Oh my, did you watch those games?
I did, bro.
Bro, if you don't know soccer, then like, first of all, what are you doing? It's like,
Facts.
Go to sport. But holy shit, I'd also like to say this does relate to the internet. Watching things live now, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Do you know why? My boss rescheduled our meeting for 12 p.m. That's the exact time the game started. So do you know what I did? Because the internet can do anything now. It was a live game. I went to Paramount Plus and I paused the game. And then I waited until our meeting was done and then I went and watched it live. Like, the hell? And it feels weird because I remember, like, I don't know, just like as a kid where it's like you hear the commercials end and you just book it to the freaking TV and you're like, I'm going to miss this shit. And like watching anything live now, you don't even need to record it. Like, remember now, it's
that's what
I'm going to miss this. Can you record it?
When you were a little kid, bro. Yeah, if you miss it, you might miss a goal. You might miss your favorite episode. It's not coming back because your phone, if it even had a camera at the time, doesn't know how to do shit. And then you don't have the internet to rewatch stuff. So I fully agree with that, bro.
It's
what are
crazy.
your like actually before we dive in, like what do you think about that? Because in my opinion, as a kid, I kind of enjoyed that more, man. I didn't get that dopamine release all the time, and I felt like I had more of a schedule with things, and it wasn't just like constant bullshit whenever I wanted it, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely think for like, well, for building like two sides, building patience, I think is like key. Like you literally had to sit through 15 minutes of freaking ads. That's
Yeah,
ass. No one
yeah,
sits through 15 minutes of ads now because it's just pay to win. But then
true.
also at the same time, do you know how many advertisements? Like our generation has seen the most advertisements than like my grandparents did in their entire life ever. And we're like a
Sure.
third of their age, which is crazy. Like I could tell you the fucking baby commercial was it Gerber Life or whatever the
Yeah,
fucking
bro.
bro I could tell you that, but I've seen it so many times that it shouldn't have to be like that. But like, I don't know. I think the patience thing is really nice. Also, the whole like, I don't know. It was nice because there was no pay to win. Like
True.
now, theoretically, if you are so rich, you will never see an ad, which I strive for because I'm done seeing ads. Fuck ads, bro. I would love to pay for YouTube Premium, but I know once I pay for it, I will never go back to normal YouTube. So I'm gonna do that later. But paying for like
And it's
Netflix,
either that
Hulu,
or food on the
Netflix,
table, right? For
yeah.
us out here,
No,
bro.
bro, literally, I know people that are like, I'm gonna have sleep for dinner, but I don't have to see an ad while I'm falling asleep for dinner,
Bro,
which
that's
is
like a new low in my opinion.
insane.
Like, dude, honestly, I'm like no hate to if that's you, dude. Come
No,
on, there's no way you're choosing no ads over like something more important. I don't know. I
I
get it though.
mean,
Like ads these days do suck. Um, I feel
YouTube's insane. Do you watch
yeah,
YouTube on your TV often?
I do actually, yeah,
I got 8 ads. I
bro,
got
and they're
eight
longer.
ads.
They're longer.
I know. Which again, I'm all for supporting these creators out here,
I'm not.
but oh well,
Get them
okay.
out of my face.
I need I need to buy YouTube Premium because then they just get a cut of what I'm paying. I'd rather do that than watch. Yeah, no, that's really funny you mentioned that because I haven't 15 minutes of ads seems like absolute like a Neanderthal dealing with
Yeah,
that. Like what do
yeah.
you that's
That being
crazy.
said, okay, the opposite side of that though, I feel like you can get around ads more than like back in the day. You throw on TV,
Yeah.
you're guaranteed ads. You go to a movie theater. Those are like the only two like ways of I don't know. You're seeing ads basically back in the day. You can't
Yeah.
really get around it. Nowadays, you go to TikTok. I mean, you see ads, but boom, done. You don't have to watch it. Exit it out,
Or you
refresh the app. Boom.
yeah.
And
You
ads,
open
dude.
no, or you get ads on games. I haven't had a game on my phone in forever. Boom, airplane mode. No ads.
Exactly.
Five head.
I agree, bro. Nah, what I'm trying to get at though is like I think there's just so much bullshit out there that you can get away from ads unless it's like YouTube or like I don't know a streaming service. But yeah, all right.
That's a
Well,
good
we need
problem.
it is a good problem.
No,
You know, what else is a
I
good
didn't realize it.
problem.
What?
The fact that we've had a great conversation, but we really
Mhm.
haven't talked about anything about how the
Okay.
internet is a big
What's your
problem.
point?
Basically, Will, you should you should get back on track. That's what I'm trying to say, bro.
What's your point? So the internet's biggest problem is we literally said we titled our last clip Sabrina Carpenter tickets and it got age restricted. What the fuck? Did you see that? We literally put how much are Sabrina Carpenter tickets right after we put like Taylor Swift concerts are crazy. Two different clips. And like 2 days after it said your clip has been age restricted. I was like, come on.
Wait, where?
Come on.
How did I not know
On
this?
YouTube. On
Bro.
YouTube Shorts.
I didn't know
And
that.
it said, do you want to appeal? I'm like, yeah, let me appeal for the 0 people that are about to watch this clip and enjoy it. What the fuck? I was like, God damn. In the beginning of the clip, I don't even think we're talking about Sabrina. I think we're talking about Taylor Swift.
I'm
Like,
not gonna lie, I think YouTube just likes Taylor Swift. That's what I'm hearing. Bias because sounds like it.
sorry, that was just a random note I had.
That was.
And I had to throw in because I knew you didn't know that.
Yeah.
What I would answer as the internet's biggest problem, like on a legit answer,
Oh
is
shit. Okay.
it works in reverse. So take it from a video game perspective, it brings people that are super far away and they can come together and play games very easily. And then people that are very close and it separates them. For example, when was the last time you and I played video games? A week ago. and we live on different coasts. When was the last time we played multiplayer locally on the same couch? 2016. Even
Facts.
though we had the capability to do that in 2017 and 18, games are just so much more reliant to being like multiplayer, where it's just like, because I remember having conversations about that with my mom, where she's like, why don't you go over to like Ryan or Owen's house to like play games? And it's like, well, because it's going to be split screen. I'm not dealing with that bullshit. I personally can't even see in the first place. So, like, we may as well stay at separate houses to play games online. So then we have a better user
And
experience individually.
yeah, no, I fully agree with that. Also, I think if you're in person nowadays, you're wanting to do something else. Like you now
Hmm.
have the motivation to get out of the house. You want to go outside, you want to go to a restaurant, maybe spend some money, whatever it is. I don't feel like nowadays, unless you're like under the age of like 15, you're not really playing video games on a couch with somebody else. Kind of sad,
Yeah.
kind of true. But
Yeah, and it also works in the same another context that I saw that it worked really well in is with learning. Um, Fast learning is what I would label it. Like social skills is more. I feel okay. I'm biased because I would identify myself as a pretty big extrovert and I just be talking, right? And so without the internet, if you go and just talk to people in person, I feel like the social skills you'll learn theoretically would be like faster, if that makes sense, because it's in person. You are able to experience like awkwardness between someone face to face a lot easier than awkwardness via text, because texting, it fucking doesn't matter. But then on the inverse, it's way faster to learn slower things. Like it takes years to learn a language, but they got Duolingo. And if you just do it every day, I don't know. That was just a pattern that I noticed with like the internet just working inversely with things that used to be big problems, which
I
is
agree.
interesting.
I agree. I also think like the whole I got to bring this up because like you can talk a lot of shit on the internet, you can say a lot of things, but then when it comes to
Mm.
in person, it's a lot harder to like talk the talk. And the reason I want to just talk about that because for like the internet, you have a screen behind you. When you're in person, like you said, embrace the awkwardness, feel a little bit just like of the other person's vibe. Like you can do whatever you want and whatever you want on the internet. You have that blockage. Um, but I felt like as a kid, if I like was learning in like how to be a friend, how to be a family member online necessarily, and just like growing up online, I would be a lot different of a person. And I'm not saying that's necessarily bad because we don't know the full effects of that yet, but
Hmm.
I just feel like life was a lot slower. We were a little bit more bored, which I don't think was a bad thing. I think
No, that was great.
yeah, yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit more, but like standing in a line, bro, at a restaurant, like let's just say like that is like such a good example because like nowadays people can barely even do that. Sitting
I c-
in front of
I
somebody
can't.
else and talking about your emotions, it's hard, bro. And back in the day, people would that's all you could do. You wouldn't even have a
Hmm.
phone. You wouldn't have this time to like be to yourself as much. You wanted to be around people. And so that's a whole nother thing. But you're right, man. Definitely limits like this generation and stuff. I don't know what I'm getting at, but I'm just trying to say it's a lot different. And also,
Yeah,
it's dangerous for people like you, Will, because creativity, I feel like, and peace of mind is also, I think,
yeah.
yeah, is like kind of hitting hard with this. Like, it's not as much of a thing with this new generations.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I don't want to sound like I'm just like complaining and sounding like a boomer, but like literally like a week ago, Curtis Connor and Drew Gooden made a video about like why the internet sucks now. All I'm gonna say is something I thought was interesting from that is they did this person did a study. I don't know who did it, but they took pictures of like very common everyday objects from like the 1800s until now, and then they put all of the different colors of all those objects in like a color spectrum. And since like the 90s, first of all, everything, used to be made out of wood. So there's a lot more browns and yellows and stuff. And it's just completely like spiked and everything's now black and white because, the introduction of plastic is like, I'm getting really serious on this, but I found it very interesting because,
And
like, for
minimalism.
example,
Minimalism, yeah.
exactly like McDonald's play places. Oh my God, did you see that? Did you
Yes.
see that McDonald's play place update? Do you see
Yes,
what
I
they
did.
had at the play place?
Dude, it's so sad. It's just so boring.
No, no, no. Did you see what they changed the gymnasium to?
Oh, no,
They
I
changed
didn't.
it. You know how normally McDonald's play place is like a bunch of tubes and a ball pit filled with kids pee and
Yeah.
like it's
Of course.
bro. It was the corner of the restaurant with 2 iPads on the wall and it said play place.
Bro.
That's the saddest thing I've ever seen.
That is sad,
What?
dude. And I'm assuming
That's
it's like black and white.
crazy.
I'm assuming it's no color.
The
I'm
wall was
assuming-
red. The wall was red.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Facts. I did not
But no,
realize it's that
interesting.
bad. I think that's a great thing to bring up, dude.
Insane.
I see that honestly everywhere. I think there's like a trend going around too with like how the world is like losing color.
Mhm.
And that's not just natural stuff because it's not like trees are getting less green. It's the fact that we're throwing buildings that are like stupid. Like they just
Paper.
look. There's just no personality to them, man. And I think like that's just kind of the direction we're heading because it's probably easier to build. It looks better on the eye, like when you're just staring at it for a second. But then, like, I mean, you see it with people too, like how they dress. Like it's not as many exotic
Mhm.
colors. It's not as many. Like it's just kind of where the trends are going and stuff. I don't know why that's the case. It could also be linked to like just the internet, just like how everything's getting a little bit more boring, like you said with the podcast that you were listening to. I just think you're right. The internet was just better 10 years ago, bro. People still had
Oh,
human tendencies.
2015.
That's what I'm saying,
2015, 2016.
How was that
Oh,
a decade
take me
ago?
back.
How was that a decade
Take
ago?
me back.
And I think the craziest part, bro, is like people still had personality. It wasn't oversaturated. It feels like everything now is just like
Yeah.
the same shit. And I don't know. That's why like it's just so refreshing to see. Like for example, this is like so random. I just watched the new movie with Michael B. Jordan.
Oh my god.
and-
So good.
You watched it?
So good. I watched it. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. It was
That
different.
movie's so good.
It was different. It had twists and turns you didn't expect, and it was refreshing. I've watched probably 100 movies in the last like 5 years, and that one was one of those that was like, yes, that's what you need. Like Oppenheimer, for
Mhm.
example, Dune 2, some of those movies, you're like, yes, that's what you need. There's just oversaturation in the movies and internet and all that stuff, and I think that's just what makes it worse. So
No, that's true. Also, to bring it to the podcast, the internet devalues, call me a mathematician, real numbers. So what I mean by that
true.
is we are about to hit 1,000 plays across the show, which is great.
Woo!
If you were to get if you were to compare yourself online to 1,000, which is it's actually still a big number, you would be like, damn, that's nothing. But if you had 1,000 people, even if you, I'm trying to think of how like a comparison could be made. Because obviously, if you had 1,000 people once, that's a ton. But say you did a weekly like seminar, I'm trying to like physicalize a podcast. Say you did like a weekly seminar, and 100 people went to each seminar for 10 weeks in a row. That's still so many people. Then if you see 1,000 online, or I don't.
Yeah.
we got 4 subscribers on the channel. If you were to put 4 next to any other channel ever podcast, you'd be like, damn, that shit is low. But if you were to get 4 random strangers and they sat in a room and was just like, I like what you're saying, I fuck with you, that would be crazy. That would actually be insane if just like 5 people went up to you just randomly at work. And they're just like, I mean, you get reached out a lot, at least through like Instagram, but like
I do,
like about the show.
With people I know,
But like in person would be really cool. And like total strangers.
I agree. No, and I will say this. I went viral for a clip. It was a clip I did at Texas Roadhouse. I did it with my 2 coworkers. I bring this up because it had, I think, 3 million likes, and then like
Had 12 million views.
12 million views.
12
Yeah, it was
million
like 12, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The next day that got posted, I didn't even really know it popped off that much. I was at a stoplight, literally with my windows down because it was
there's
summertime.
no way.
Somebody
There's no way you're
recognized
getting
me.
recognized.
I'm not
There's
even kidding. Because the reason why I had
You're
my hat
lying.
on, I had my
You're
Texas.
lying.
I'm not.
You're lying.
Mm-mm. I'm not. It was literally the day after because I had my Texas Roadhouse stuff on, looked the exact same as the video, and they were like, "Dude, there's no way." They
There's
pulled
no
out their phone. They were like, "Bro, were you on? They didn't get like the video in time because like the light turned, and they're like, dude, you just went like viral on TikTok, and I went, I mean, yeah, I guess. And then I checked the video when I like parked.
There's
I was up
no
to 12.
way.
I'm dead ass. So I only bring that up. that
To
was
flex.
that was crazy.
He brings it up to
Not a
flex.
flex because one of these days, Will, you're gonna get that feeling, and you probably already have because you're already a legend. Bro is
I haven't.
filling out on
Appreciate it.
YouTube. He just doesn't get
That's
the
so funny.
facial recognition because you're an editor. That's the thing, bro.
That's so funny.
I bring it up though because it makes you feel good inside because you're like, what the fuck did I just? There's no way that dude knows about me, and I've never seen his face in my life.
It wasn't even your video. You were in the video, but
Exactly.
it's not like you were the account.
And it only popped off because it was relatable. It was like when you don't clean your dishes and pre-bus, and the server
then it
has to
was-
go through hell. Yeah.
It was the NLE Choppa song, so it
Yeah,
was
and
trending
then-
sound. So just
And NLE reposted it. It was a whole thing, bro.
yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. But either way, the reason I bring it up is mainly because it just feels cool to be recognized, especially from strangers. It does because okay, a friend reaches out, they're just like, okay, that's cool. But like,
No,
if
I
you
get-
walk on a fucking sidewalk and there's just like, yo, what's up, Ryan? I'll be like, who the hell
No.
are you, dog?
I understand what you're saying. It just sounds funny out of context where it's like we're talking about the internet's biggest problem. You're like, can't relate, but getting recognized in public, that shit's not a problem. That's a great fucking.
I
feeling.
never said it wasn't
That's
a problem.
so.
I wouldn't
that's
say it's
funny.
a problem. It is a problem. It is a problem if
That's
it gets
funny.
out of hand. But I don't know. It just felt good with my innocent small town kid vibe where I'm like, wow, the
Yeah.
internet just connected me with this dude. You know what I'm saying. Just that's
Yeah.
crazy.
The fact that you didn't know it popped off makes it even funnier
Yeah,
because you
'cause-
literally did not know.
I knew it had like 100K likes or something, and I was like, okay, that's good, but like nothing crazy. I check it when I park and it's at like 2 mil likes, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
Crazy.
crazy.
Crazy. Will, this is such a side note. When is the last time you
Yes,
have
sir.
sat?
Yeah,
It's
sir.
crazy, dude. Yeah, it's been a while for me. So,
What were you?
when's the last time you shot yourself? So, I mean,
What the
you said
fuck?
you said
Why
yesterday.
was this
so-
a question?
It wasn't a
Why
question.
was
I
it-
changed it because bro answered too quick.
Okay, what's the question?
I tried to sit in silence. This was about a month ago. And this was actually after one of our episodes about a month ago. I'm going to ask you, when is the last time you have sat in silence and just like taken everything in for like more than 10 minutes? And what I mean by that,
so long.
exactly. Sat on a
No.
park bench, for example, and just looked at the trees. When's the last time?
Don't do this. This makes me sound so Gen Alpha, really. Like, I need to do that mostly because I'm so productivity brain that
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm sitting, I'm wasting time. I could be working. Not even that, but like adult wise, I could be cleaning. I could be doing laundry. I could be cooking. I could be organizing my scuffed desk setup. I could be
It's a weird feeling, isn't it?
blank.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
So just sit
Which
there.
I feel like it's easier when, because I thought you were gonna say like sitting on your couch and just zoning out. Like,
No,
but
no.
if I were to go to a park, it would be a lot easier because then in my brain it's like I'm going to the park versus if it was just in my apartment with the TV off, turn his TV off, Kendrick, and I would also have like nothing on my computer. That would be.
It's tough.
I can't remember the last time I've done that. When was the last time
Tough.
you said you did this like a month ago?
I did this a month ago, and it was because somebody told me to try it. And it was actually my cousin who reached out and was like, "Hey, man, you should try this. This relates a lot to your topic, and I think it shows you how to live slow and also just take a step back and realize that, dude, you don't need your phone all the time. And society teaches you, hey, you do. It feels like you need your phone. It feels like you need that constant boost of energy. So I only asked that, man, because it just is a weird feeling, and I haven't done it since then. But I fully recommend it, dude. Even putting your phone aside, like across the room, no notifications, just genuinely being one with yourself. It sounds stupid. It goes a long way.
I mean,
It really does.
10 minutes. It's like a long time. Like,
It is a long time. I've had longer shits, so It's
Yeah.
true. It's
When was the
true.
last time you went to the bathroom without your phone? Tell me that.
I
Yeah.
forgot it once at work. Oh
Oh,
my god, dude! I was kind of going crazy.
man took an hour-long shit.
This was
Just
no, I got done with it quicker because when you're on your phone, you're obviously like comfortable and stuff, but like I felt so uncomfortable. I felt naked when I didn't have my phone. I'm so for real, bro, because
No,
it's not
that's true.
not even that big of a deal. I have when I go to my bathroom at my work, I have an AirPod in and I'm like usually listening to music or like, just looking at my phone. I genuinely had my AirPod in. It lost connection to my phone because I have to walk and I went, now I just have an AirPod and nothing to do. And I felt so naked, bro. That is such a weird thing to say, bro. But I was just sitting there and I was like, I need to get done faster, bro. Let me get back. This doesn't
You
feel
just
like as
walked.
good.
You just walked and I just Ba-doop, ba-doop.
Yeah.
Just
Literally, my,
fuck.
my my music was glitching on the way because I have to
I
well,
hate that.
okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I find peace in going to a bathroom that I know doesn't have people. So I have 5 floors in
Yeah.
my office building. I take I take the
No.
elevator to
No.
the fifth
No,
floor.
no.
When I know it's gonna be a while, bro, I say, you know what? It's time. It's time for the fifth floor. By the way, I'm on the first floor. But yeah, so my sometimes I'm in the bathroom taking a shit for like 20 minutes because the elevator process is like 5 or 10. So yeah.
We don't even have an office bathroom. I have to walk out of the office to go to the bathroom.
I thought you were gonna say it's like a porta potty just like connected to the fucking to the building. That's crazy, dude.
No, I literally have to leave. And sometimes I have that thought, but mine's not 5 floors. Mine's literally, should I choose the 3 foot away bathroom or the 6 foot away bathroom? And as of recently, I'm choosing the 6 foot away bathroom
I
because
don't
then I
blame
get to
you.
take longer.
I don't blame you, dude. It gives you more of an experience and you get to get away from your desk. Call me crazy. I don't
Bro,
care,
there's a
dude.
door in my bathroom.
What?
Isn't that weird?
What does that mean?
Like,
Well, no shit. Every bathroom has a door for the most part.
no, you walk into the bathroom and you open the door, right? And the
Yeah.
first thing you see is a door.
Why?
Like, there's a bathroom. I think it's a boiler room, but I didn't know that for like the first
Oh,
week. So when I went to the bathroom, I was like, bro, is someone just about to bust the door open and catch me mid shit?
you didn't open
What the
it?
hell?
You didn't
No,
try-
it was locked when I opened it.
Oh,
So I
okay.
went, oh shit, maybe there's someone on the other side. Bro,
Holy
scared the shit out of
dude.
me.
And it being a boiler room, like with my luck or your luck, it would have just been going off, been like, "Arrgh," and you would be like, oh shit.
Yeah, actually,
That's so
that's so
funny.
funny.
Well,
Well,
I
yeah,
have one more point
okay, go for it.
because for me, you talked about it perfectly. A phone out of reach just creates a bad experience, especially in today's generation when you're shitting, when you're trying to go to sleep, when you're literally trying to sit at a park bench. Phone out of reach just feels uncomfortable. Creating these boundaries, though, I'm going to talk about it. I think that is a huge solution to like where we're at. Like if you're, for example, with McDonald's, take your kid outside to a park. Don't take him
Put
to the fun zone if there's 2 iPads in a minimalistic bullshit corner in McDonald's. I'm sorry.
nah, put them in a pee ball pit. Actually, pee in the ball pit, so then it's
Facts.
more natural, I guess. And then chuck your kid in the ball pit.
We had to do it. They get to do it. You don't get
Yeah.
a choice. Exactly. Exactly. We're dragging you down with us, with you. But it's true, bro. No, do you actually feel that way sometimes that you're like, well, I did it at my age, so like,
No, it's
yeah,
I understand the thinking of how older people
I
are
do
like,
too.
I struggled with this, so you should struggle with it too. But I also know when I talk to someone that old and I'm like, dude, no, I don't have to have the same struggles you had to just because you don't want to be open minded. That pisses me off when I'm younger in
Yeah,
that
I agree with
conversation.
that.
So I know I do it, but I also try to be like, no, let's solve some problems that I didn't have to go through for the future generation because that was a problem for me and pissed me the fuck off. Obviously, I think no matter what your problem is, you're going to learn from it. So you're going to, when you look back, you're going to look at it and be like, oh, I'm glad I had those problems. Like commercials. I'm glad that I grew up with commercials, even though if you ask Kid Will, he would be like, if you told me I could get rid of like commercials like that, I'd fucking take it. But I think anyway that you grew up, you're going to justify because
I agree
that's
with that.
your experience.
I agree. I hate holding a grudge. I think you had a good take on that. I think like if you're almost you're stopping the growth of a new, like you said, with advertisements, like why do those need to be a part of society? Ads are not helpful for anyone except for the people that generate money. Therefore,
Yeah.
if you're a kid, nobody gives a shit about that. And I think if you're stunting the growth of like the younger generation because of the problems you had, fuck that shit. So you have a great point with that. That being said, if there's a pee ball pit, I'm shoving them in because that they need to get through that. I think also this it goes for the younger people mainly out there. Well, even people our age. Actually talk to people in person.
Mhm.
Wild idea, right? I'm serious. It's fucking. It's
Whoa,
crazy.
crazy! I didn't think of doing that.
Yeah. Instead of DoorDash, go out and get food and maybe even sit by yourself. It's gonna make you uncomfortable. Fucking do it.
No,
Okay.
DoorDash, and then when they deliver your food, be like,
do you want to go
hang
out
out
with me?
You want to hang out?
Yeah.
I'm free at 5 after I eat this bust down meal. I'm free.
You walk out to their car, it's just like full on tinted windows, like beaded ass car. I would be so scared. I'd be like,
they delivered on
kind of busy.
They delivered on a scooter.
Yeah. Thanks. No, it's true though. Get yourself out of social media, off the internet sometimes. It's a lot of a highlight reel. We've talked about this so much, but just be a part of real life sometimes. I I stopped using TikTok for a couple days, and I cannot tell you how refreshing it was. And I would love to talk to Will every single day in person. It's just more where we live. So, and I think he agrees with that. Like, I think the internet is an awesome plan B to that and still keeps us connected in so many ways. If we could be playing soccer every day, that's what I would be choosing. But yeah, no, there's a lot of good things with it, a lot of bad things. So
100%. If you're going to listen to one thing throughout this episode, remember, go touch some grass. That's it. Nothing else. Remember, care what people think. We'll see you next week.
See you next week on 182.3.